Okay, we're gonna start layout 1 and we're gonna do a little bit of prep. So you're gonna need some markers. Now, if you don't have these exact ones, just get something similar in colors. I have for the tri-blend markers, Coral Shades, Vintage Blue Blend, and Dull Green Blend. That's all on your supply list on the first page of your instructions. So we're gonna play with these. Now, they're not asking you to color this whole page. So luckily, with the girls one especially, it doesn't take too long to color these. The boys one, the dragon, took a little bit longer. But looking at this, I'm just going to try to color the ones that they colored, because no point in coloring something here in the middle when that's not going to get shown. So it looks like what they colored was with the Coral Shades, they colored all the little hearts. And then they colored the feathers. And then they colored the rose. Just try to think, you know, like Beauty and the Beast, right? And I think that's it. So, and we're just going to kind of go around the outside edge, because in the center, this is all going to be covered up anyway. So let's, I'm just going to kind of go with what they got there. And I'm going to go with probably the lightest of the coral blends. And I'm going to start up here. Which looks like, I think it's going to be this heart. So looking on the page here, there's a horse that you just see in the legs there. So we're going to start at the one to the right of those legs. And be careful, because these markers, you know, they're wet. So because they're alcohol markers, so start a little bit inside the heart, you know, so that it doesn't bleed outside the edges. And then over to the right, the next heart you see, just like that. And then looks like there's one over here almost all the way to the right-hand side of the page is a little heart. And I don't see any more there. And I'm seeing, because no point in coloring what's not going to be shown. I think that is it on the hearts. And then we're going to do the roses. And it's funny, because I'm already using the lightest color here on this, aren't I? Yes, I'm using the lightest color, and yet the roses they have there are very, very light. And that doesn't match any of these other two colors, so that's kind of interesting. So we're going to go up to that heart up there. And let's see, to the second heart, there's not a rose, but a flower right to the left of this second heart. I'm going to color in this, and it's going to be, because I'm using the lightest, I'm not quite sure what color they use, because it doesn't seem to be this one, but color in that little flower. I'm not doing any blending today. We're just going to color gently. And then over here to the right of the teapot, and again to the left of the heart that you see, color in that flower. And you could change these colors up if you want to, of course. And then down here, it looks like, is it under the castle? Yes. So the castle is all covered up, basically. It looks like. This is kind of tricky. So I'm thinking it's this flower here. This is just slightly off, but so I'm going to go with this flower here. So down towards the bottom of your paper, there's a mirror. So it's to the left of the mirror. And then it looks like the other one is down, let me see how this is. We got a castle over here. So here's another mirror. So I think it's this flower. So you got a castle at the bottom, go over till you see the mirror, and then it's the flower next to the mirror. And get that colored in. And next we're going to go back with the lightest of the green and do the leaves on all those flowers. So This is a little confusing because their paper is just slightly off from what ours is, but that's okay. All right, and just color in the leaves of all those flowers. Hope I'm staying within range of the camera because I've got it really down close as I can get it. This won't take you long. This one's much quicker than the boys one. Now, if you're doing the boys one, you're going to do the dragons, and I'll just show you in a second how those looked. Lastly, we're going to do the feathers, and it's going to be the feather that is under the flower every time. Yep. So we just go to each one of those feathers. We're going to use the lighter one, and it's going to be the feather. Boy, my blue here looks gray. It's blue though. The feather under the flower that you just colored. And I'll kind of show you how I did the dragons on the boys page. And that is it on that page. So we'll move on to the next page in a minute, but let me show you the dragons on page 1 first. So here they are. So I think what I did was I took the lightest blue and I colored in the main part of the dragon. And then I took the medium blue and just kind of went over all the little details on the dragon. And then with his belly, I did light green, dark green, light green, medium green, light green, medium green on the stripes, and a little bit of shading, just a tiny bit on this part where I did the medium green kind of on the outline and colored in with the light green. And then next to it, you use the lightest pink on the little star. That's all you have to do on the dragon, so not too complicated. So let's do page 2 now. So that's page 1. Page 2, let me get a good look at what they've got there. Let's see. See, so much of this is going to be covered up too. All right, we're going to start at the upper left. There is with your blue, lightest blue, there's a feather. The first feather you see as you're going on the top, get that one done. And then move on over till you see a heart. I'll just kind of set that down for now. We'll do them as we see them, because there's not that many on this page. So lightest heart, and then I'm looking, it looks like the next one isn't until all the way to the bottom of the page. So get your blue out again. So all the way down to the bottom of the page, it's the only feather on the bottom. And just get that colored in with the lightest blue. And then above it, get my top. Did you know you could leave the tops off your alcohol markers and they'll be okay since they're not water? Now, I mean, not forever. I'm just saying while you're using them, you don't have to keep putting your top on. So let's do the flower that's right above. What am I doing? Light. Yep. And then there's a little heart just to the upper right of that flower. Do that, and then get your green, lightest green. And I think that that's all we see, because everything else is covered up. I'm not seeing anything else. So again, with that dragon, and I didn't really show you where the dragon placement is, but I will do that right now. So on page 1 for your dragon, there's like a half a dragon at the top, and then just diagonally down, that dragon right there that's next to the castle, and then the dragon way at the bottom. That's for page 1. And then for page 2, half a dragon at the top, a dragon over here on the side. You don't even have to do the whole dragon, but you can. And one right in the middle, you're seeing his head, and then one down at the bottom. You do want to kind of color these first because you're going to, you know, it'd be really hard to color when you've got edges of mats there. So color those first. All right. The next bit of prep, set this aside, is you're going to take either, let me get these out, either this for the boy or this for the girl, or if you want it sparkly, get the glitter paper that we cut. And we're going to put that behind one of the big circle die cut. So let me grab that. And I actually didn't cut out my die cuts yet. I want to kind of get those organized, but I'll do that in a second. So here is the circle die cut. And just pop all those hearts out. I don't think we're using those hearts, but they have done things like that to me in the past. So I'm always careful not to throw out the inner pieces sometimes. But I'm just gonna put these in a little pile. So get all of these little punched out. And I should have mentioned on the cutting instructions to go ahead, and this is something you can do now, you can pause. So when you're doing a cutting, it's always a good idea also to go through all of the die cuts that they have for you. They're labeled with the pages that they're supposed to go to, and just put those on your pile. And I'm gonna do that next. So if you haven't done that already, because you probably remembered when I didn't, you can pause this video and go back, get all the little die cut sheets. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like all of these sheets, and get those punched out and put on the piles of paper that you cut. The other thing you want to do if you're not using photos yet and you want to use the photo placeholders, you can also put those on the correct piles of layout 1, 2, and 3. Or if you're using photos and you are going to pop those right in, get those put on there. And then you'll be all ready to go. So I'm going to do that as soon as we finish this piece, so that I'll just assume that you're doing that too. And it'll make it go faster. So you won't constantly have to be pausing to do that. Usually I remember. But anyway, so let's get this done here. What a pain to get all these out, huh? Ah. 2 more, 3 more, 4 more. Okay. So I'm going to use the silver glitter paper behind this. So what I'm going to do is tack that down, and then you just cut around it, okay? So that's pretty easy. And I'm going to, I think I'm going to use regular runner on parts of it, because I find that glue, sometimes it has issues with glitter paper. So I may use a little combination, but for now I'm gonna kind of just get into every part I can with my runner, because I do feel like that sticks a little better. It's that rough surface that is hard for even things like liquid glass. But this does seem to stay fairly sticky, so I'm going to put that down. Just make sure that there's a color behind every one of the hearts. I'll use my big scissors. If I said before, I sure wish Close to My Heart would sell big scissors, but we just had a talk with them about some of the things they're not going to sell anymore, so I'm pretty sure this will not go on the list of things that they want to start purchasing. So you're going to see some things are going to run out before the core catalog this year, because, and I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but whenever a company like Close to My Heart has to do their buying their inventory from other places, the stuff that they don't make themselves, they usually have to buy it in really large quantities, and those large quantities don't always sell, and it's really hard to estimate how much will sell. And so they've decided that they're going to cut back on some of the extra products that they have that they don't make themselves, for that very reason, so that they're not stuck with inventory sitting on a shelf. So this is how you do that. Now you could do it with the pink, you could do it with the blue, or you could do it with the silver glitter paper. So that's all you do. I think I got just a little bit showing here. And that will be your prep for this page. Now I'm going to pause, and I'm going to get all of my punch outs, my die cuts punched out and put on the pages, and then we're moving on to layout 1. Okay, we're going to do one more thing of prep. As I was cutting with these, the glitter paper, I hadn't tried it out yet, and I can see that because you move this over to the right, all the way to the right edge, you're not getting much of a border at the top or the bottom there. So we're going to cut one side one more small, and I'm thinking maybe 1/16 of an inch. Let me check it out first and see if that's what I want to cut it at. So you are going to need your cutter. So let me check it now. See, that looks a little better. So yeah, I'm not going to put that on the cutting instructions. We're just going to do it now. So on one side, you will cut an extra 1/16 of an inch, and that's going to make a nice even border all the way around. So go ahead and do that on both of them. I'm going to grab my other one. And just like 1/16 of an inch. It's tiny. All right. Now that that's out of the way, let's get started. You're gonna need your sticker sheet. You're gonna need your little die cut sheet. And I didn't label the stickers this time because they're just so obvious. It wasn't really necessary. Wasn't anything tricky on this one. So let's start with just putting this glitter paper down. And it's a little heavier paper, so I'm going to use a little bit more adhesive than normal. All right, and getting close to running out on that, I think, already. So try to put it, you want to make it flush with the right hand edge, but then you want to just center the rest of it so that it has kind of the same amount. Oh, sorry, I'm getting tough. All right. Same amount of edge all the way around except for the right hand side. So I think this will work. I still want to go a little bit higher on mine. Let me try it one more time. So I'm really looking for about 1/16 of an inch top and bottom on this one, and then a little bit more on the left, okay? Like that. And we'll do the opposite when we do the next page. All right, now we can start layering some of these papers. So you're gonna get your first page that you colored, which had more coloring on it than the other page. And we're gonna put that again all the way to the right hand edge. And that should be 1A. Now, if you're doing boy paper, do the other side with the dragons, right? Yeah, I knew that was gonna run out pretty fast. I did get to do a little bit of scrapbooking at my retreat last weekend. Not much, but just a little bit. And we're gonna just put that to the right edge. Again, trying to center it so the top silver and the bottom silver kind of match in width. All right. Now 1B, let me see. We wanna make sure we don't mess up here. It says, attaching 1A and then attach the honey butter. Okay, so now we're gonna go through and do the stripes instead. So next is the strips of die cuts that you got now. One side is yellow, one side is blue. The blue is for the boy, the yellow is for the girl. But of course you can do it any way you want, you know, because like when I was young, I was kind of a tomboy, so I wasn't into as much frilly stuff, although I still wore dresses too. But back then, I don't know if you guys remember, so I'm 62. So I went to school in the 60s, and it was kind of normal for girls to wear dresses every day. So anybody else have that experience, or are you all younger than me? And I remember all men having hats. So the pink side, or the peach, the melon, is for the girls. The yellow side is if you're doing a boy page. But yeah, my dad had to wear a hat to work every day. I remember that too. So much has changed. All right. And then the next is purple. And then green for the boy side. Make sure the crowns are upwards. These are such pretty colors. I love our new colors. Oh, you guys, wait till you see the new catalog too, coming out in April. So many nice things. I know this is going to be a huge seller. Just all the papers you've been begging for. Okay, there's the purple, and now we've got the green, and that's the same for boys or girls page. I just made my purchases today of a lot of the stuff. So my retreaters at the very end of this month, they're going right over into April. We'll get a chance at it a little bit early, a day or two. And now yellow for the boy, but peach for the girl, melon. And I think that is it on those stripes. Oh, yep. And then we're going to do dovetail the 1B and one and the mulberry die cut strip. So this and this are next, and we're going to dovetail them. Now it's interesting because this is I think this was yeah, that's one of the cutout strips. So it's extra long, so you are going to dovetail it much shorter. Let me see if I can find my small scissors. I know I was using them for something else. Oh, there they are. Okay, so we're gonna kind of make this the judge. It looks like they've got these very similar in length. So let's dovetail this one first. Go up the center about 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit more, and then start at the corners and meet in the center. Okay, and now using this as a guide, I'm going to cut the next one about that same length. So I'm going to cut some of this off, about a good 1.25 inches probably, and then do that same dovetail up to the center. This will be the easiest of the pages that we're doing. All right, this is gonna go, 1B is gonna go 3 3/4 inch up. Ruler. And it goes flush with the right hand side, so that shouldn't be too hard. So 3 3/4 inch from the bottom. And then all I have to do is match it up with that side, and that which should make it straight. And I think, let me see, I'm gonna have to stand up for this one. So I'm just gonna kind of get this as accurate as I can down here at the 3 3/4 mark. Keep it nice and straight. And then use that as my little leverage, something to lean against there. And put it exactly flush with the side. Pull that over, and the next one will be easier. I think that one goes right on top. So, orange side for the boys. Oh, and I didn't say, but the blue side for the boys too on this. This is blue on one side, right? So, turn it over for the boys page. I may forget something else like that with the boys, so you guys pay attention on that. If you're doing a boy, look at the picture. Okay, and then it says attach 1C, which is going to be our mat. Do not use adhesive along the left edge so another piece can be tucked in. And that's going to be our very pretty heart piece here. or you can always cut it in half too. So it looks like 1C is gonna go 2 inches up. That'll be easy, and 2 1/4 over. So I'm not going to put too much on the left-hand side. So I'm gonna leave a space here so we can tuck in, and that's gonna be enormous to tuck in. So here's one way you could do it, is just do it before you put it down, which I think is gonna be a lot easier. And I'm just gonna match up where the hearts are on theirs. So it looks like it's a little above the center, and then they got 1 row of hearts, 2 rows of hearts, sort of like about here. Okay, so I'm just gonna stick that right to the back into the adhesive. That way I think it's gonna be way easier than having to try and slide that big old piece like that down. So now I can put adhesive on this too. And then we'll match up the mat 2 inches from the bottom. So I'm gonna get my ruler here. My ruler is exactly 2 inches in width. So that works well. And then 2 1/4 in. 1, 2 1/4. So right about there. Does that look right to me? It's pretty close. Yep. So put that down. So 2 1/4. Bad news. In the middle of me doing the page, the phone went off. So we were down to putting the mat together. I do not have another workshop to do this with, so I'm just going to explain to you what's next. And you guys are smart. You'll be able to figure it out. I believe we had just finished putting down the outside mat of this and with the attached circle. The next thing you're going to do is put down this blue mat, the dusty blue there. Can't remember the name of the color. And then either your photo or your photo placeholder. And now I'm going to go a little closer here. Now off the sticker page, you do either the sweet girl or the sweet boy, depending on which you're going to work on. And what I did was I put the pop dots across the bottom, or across the whole sticker. And on the right hand side, I took the paper off that, so only this side is stuck, so that I can put my photo in later. Did the same thing with the arrow. Now this arrow is from your sticker page. I put the pop dots all the way across on the bottom, only took the paper off the sticker there, or off the pop dot. Next, I popped up this medium black heart that is from the die cuts page. I really seriously can't believe that all of a sudden my phone went off and I never knew. Okay, that was from the hearts here. We've got a medium heart and a small heart. Then I took the big dragon. You can do it 2 ways. You can cut him right around to the tail area and just put him up close to that. Or when you are putting your mat down, you can not put adhesive there and slide him in. I am going to recommend, after doing this, that you actually slice him, because there's quite a bump here, because that's pretty thick. So I really recommend that you slice him before you put it on. All right. Now, if I'm going too fast, which of course I am, because it's hard to do this. It's much easier to do this when I'm actually going and doing it all with you. So put a pause on it and get that part done. That's the first section. Now, when you're ready for the second, up here is the largest heart that is on the die cuts page. You're going to tuck that under the left top there. To the right of it, one of the smallest of the asterisks, or sparkles, or whatever you want to call them, and then 2 slightly bigger ones over here to the left of the heart, and then your rainbow sticker. Again, I put pop dots all over the back of the rainbow sticker, but only took the paper off the pop dots on the left-hand side, so I can later just lift, see, and put my photo in. All right, that's that next section. Next, we're going to do down here. Now, except for the sweet boy over here, everything so far is the same for boys until we switch down here. And on the boy paper, they used this crown. I believe. Yeah. And then they used this crown as the sticker. On the girl paper, we use this crown, and that goes over your kind of purplish pink die cut. What is that? I can't remember the color. Mulberry. Mulberry, not die cut. Well, it is a die cut that you dovetailed over here. And then popped up over that is the yellow crown. Then you're gonna need these two pieces from your black die cuts and just put them to the left of the crowns. Then what I did for the happy is it's about 1/2 inch up from the bottom of my photo or photo placeholder. And then I just laid my ruler on it like this, and I put teeny tiny pop dots on the bottom and popped all of these up just normal. And then when I got to this one on the right hand side, there's a pop dot but doesn't have the sticky paper taken off. And then on the Y, I dusted it with the anti-static embossing thing, and then only put one pop dot under there so that later I could lift that off easily to put my photo in out, or I could use undo on that. And it's only one tiny little pop dot there. All right, once you've got those down, you want to go ahead and do your arrows. So these arrows, the black ones are from the black die cuts, and then this one is a sticker. It's the longer arrow with the 4 little feathers on it. And then this was a shorter arrow with the 3 feathers, and then a longer arrow, and then just a regular arrow there and a regular arrow here. This one tucks a little bit under the H. Then get the word day, and that tucks just slightly under the A there. And then all these hearts, you missed my, having lots of trouble with these little hearts because they're so tiny. But one thing I'm going to recommend after having done this all with my fingers, trying to put those down and then move them around, really it's best to use a piercing tool of some sort. So get them onto the piercing tool and lay them down, and I think it's going to be easier there. You want to start with the blue and the purple in the middle, and then work your way out if you want it to be nice and centered. Mine were slightly off because I started over here. So I'm pretty sure that is it, and I'm so sorry that this all went off, but let me give you close-ups so you can at least see those. And this is always my greatest fear is that my phone is gonna go off and I'm not gonna know, and I only have one of these workshops here to do for you. So hopefully it was just for the decorations there and the embellishments, and you can look at your page and see where those go, and it's not too hard. So sorry about that. Let's move on to page 2. Well, let's see if I can do the second page without losing my camera. I sure hope so, because that was not good. All right, so we're gonna put the glitter paper on the black. That was really weird. I'm trying to think what happened, and the only thing I could see on my phone was that my husband had called, but I turned the notifications off so I couldn't tell that he was calling, and maybe that somehow triggered it. I'm not sure. Okay, we're gonna want to go all the way. Let me make sure I get the right side. All the way to the left this time, with about a 1/16 of an inch, an 1/8 of an inch border on the top and the bottom, and then maybe closer to a full 1/8 inch on the right hand side. Yeah, close enough. Okay, so next let's get the big paper, and that again gonna go to the left hand side, just doing something different. They're instead of always putting in the center, they wanted to do something a little different. So go all the way to the left and center it between the top and the bottom. Now I'm gonna be like paranoid the whole time. This phone will go off again. Oh my goodness, hope not. All right, so now we're gonna be doing the girl page, but I will let you know the differences between that and the boy page. So let me see, I'm thinking basically the embellishments are looking exactly the same. I think the only thing different on the boy page is we're turning the papers over you know, to the dragon side, and then the strips of paper, most of them will be turned to the other side. So that's basically it. So let's start with the right hand side here. And I want to make sure I'm centered and it's going. Okay. And we're going to start with the yellow strip. That looks like this. It's blue on the back for a boy. And we're going to do the right hand side instead of the left this time. So I took a little break after my phone went off, and because I needed to charge it anyway. It's getting kind of low, and so it's a beautiful, beautiful day here in Wheaton. And I don't like to miss a chance to go downtown because I love our downtown here. Next is going to be the purple. And it is 50 degrees in March, the first day of March. Talk about coming in like a lamb. And sunny and so pretty out. So I had to go to the post office, drop off something for a customer. And then, so I thought, well, on the way back, since I need to get that phone charged, I'll go to the art store. So I went to the art store where they weren't quite set up. They change all their art out on the 1st of the month. And so most of it was down on the floor, which isn't exactly premium viewing. We're gonna go with, oops. Yeah, this is gonna be orange side. Okay, yellow side for boy, orange side for girl. And so I didn't see anything particularly I liked there. There was one piece. I really like going there because it's a local art place, and so it's local artists. And so there's a huge range in prices from, you know, $20 item up to, you know, $400 or $500 and stuff. And the one piece I saw was $75, and I just wasn't willing to spend that today. So instead, I strolled down the street to my favorite little secondhand shop, and I found 2 pieces of art in there, one for $28 and one for, I think, maybe $10 or something that I really like. And one of them was a real artist, and it was a print, and it was kind of embossed, and the print was embossed into it. So she had it signed and everything. That looked really awesome. So can't wait to put that up, but I'm gonna need to frame it because they have a big black frame on it, and it's all pastel colors. So next is gonna be the stripe piece. So yellow for boys, peach for girls. And then of course there's all this other stuff I saw there that I had to have. But luckily, you know, I got out of there for like less than 50 bucks and got tons of stuff. This is the best secondhand shop ever. You know, the prices are so low, and yet the stuff is really, really nice. So I love it. All right, now on this one, and you won't notice it on the first page, but they have a heart one for this one. And I think, let me see, it's green on both sides, so it's not gonna matter. Kind of mint. And that goes next to that. Oops, I'm gonna turn the hearts the right way. Okay, and just line these all up flush with each other. Super easy. So if you ever come to Wheaton, message me, give me a call, and I'll take you over to that great little secondhand store. We have a good Goodwill too. That's, you know, nice and neat and not too icky. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing as we did the last time. Blue for boy, peach for girl, and we're going to dovetail it. And then we'll cut that other one similar size, I think. Oh, you know what? We don't need to dovetail them on this. It just looked. It doesn't even show the dovetail, so all we have to do is put it up, and it's gonna go 3 3/4 up. Is that how far we had it before? I guess so. Okay, so 3 3/4 up, and then flush with the left-hand page. So no cutting even necessary. All right. So peach for girl, the bluish green for boy. And I'm gonna just line it up against my ruler and this side of the page to make sure it looks straight. Pretty good. Okay, and grab the other piece, and well, let me see how they did that. I guess they just cover it up. So you probably don't see it much, but you know, just in case, because this is super long, I'm going to just pull that up just a little bit so that it doesn't hang out at all. Because we're going to be covering this with a ton of other stuff, but I don't want it to be, I just don't want it to peek out behind that castle sticker that you're seeing on your paper. So I'm going to do the same thing here, except this time I think I'll just start here and go to the left. And that would be orange for the boy. So I'll just line it up against this and then trim off the excess. Okay, like that. All right, and mats are next, yes. So the one they start with is up at the top, 1 inch down, 3/4 of an inch over, and that is the mulberry. So let me put this up here. Hope you can see. I'm gonna put it at the 1 inch mark from at the top, and then we're gonna go over 3/4, which is about there. Whoop. That's why you gotta hold your ruler steady. Just about there. Okay, and then 1/4 of an inch away from that goes the blue one. So you can just put your ruler right back on there and go over. I want to make sure that's nice and straight. Okay, go over 1/4 inch. Anybody reading any good books lately? You could also use these to help you make sure it's straight because you already got these strips down, right? Another 1/4 inch over is going to be the yellow. I just finished John Lithgow, his book, autobiography, which was quite interesting. I didn't realize he'd had many affairs on his wife. I always thought of him as kind of a, you know, a good guy. Kind of sad to see that. And one of them was with Liv Ullmann. Do you guys remember her? But at least he was honest about it in his book. But of course his wife divorced him. All right, this is going to be 1/4 inch down. I also read Paul Newman's book, also very interesting, and made me look at him in a new way too. Not really the person I think that we all thought he was, and it's so funny because this is his autobiography that you'd think that he would make himself sound better, but he doesn't. He really tells the truth on this one, and not a good look for him. 1.5 inches over, 1/4 of an inch down from the mats. And then 1 more 1/4 inch over here for the pink or mulberry. And hold your ruler. And I'm gonna line that up right against that peach polka dot strip so that it looks nice and straight. Okay. Get your, either your photos on or your photo placeholders. I'm gonna take a drink because my throat's getting dry. One of my favorite pops. Anybody drink that? Grapefruit. Ugh, I've fallen in love with grapefruit juices. Grapefruit flavored things. Okay. Get these down. Any other biographies I should read? I loved Rob Lowe's. That one was excellent. Who else? Martin Short's was good. Billy Crystal's was good. I read Steve Martin's a long time ago. His was really good. I didn't like Mel Brooks's. He was really came across as egotistical. just barely talked about his wife ever. It was all about, look at what a great movie I made, and I was so smart on casting, and I was so smart on this line, and so smart on this, and this person is become a lifelong friend, and you know, every single chapter, and then we're lifelong best friends, and I'm like, come on, how many best friends do you have, really? Okay. There's only decorations down on this side. So let's start, and there's just one little one right here and one here. So it's all kind of centered over to this one. So grab your black die cuts again. Boy, they're cut so nice that they just like fall out like good meat off a bone, right? All right, so now we're gonna go with one of the smaller of the little asterisks, and that goes right up here. Like that. Over here to the right of the polka dot strip on the purple is another one of these little hearts on the purple. And then to the left of that is a sticker, let's make believe. Okay, let's make believe. This is, it looks like everything is the same for the boy page, except for those papers. I'm not seeing anything different. Yeah, so I'm gonna put, because this is gonna overlap the photo, I'm gonna get the little dots out again. And the ones on the left-hand side are not gonna get the paper off of them, so they won't stick. And this one's just gonna kind of go right over the photo. I'm using these strips of paper to line it up a little bit. And the big heart, love you forever, right there. Let's pop that up since nothing's over it. I'm gonna use the larger pop dots. And of course, I'm also reading some romances. I enjoy those. Christina Lauren, I guess they're two women that write together. And that's the name they use together, and excellent. Really like their books. Okay, this just goes right below the Let's Make Believe. Kind of tipped. And then the big scroll that you can journal on. Now this goes quite a bit over the photo, but hey, let's not do that so much. So I'm going to not pop it up because you'll be writing on it unless you write on it first, which, you know, if you do, of course, do it on the sticker sheet while it's still on the sticker sheet. But I'm gonna grab the embossing powder thing, anti-static pouch, and not embossing powder, just powder. Like I told you, if you don't have one of these, you can use flour. You can use scented baby powder or unscented baby powder, you know, any of that kind of stuff. Anything that's powdery will work. And the scroll part is on the left-hand side, and then I'm going to just put some adhesive on this side. So that, and I'm not gonna do it, I mean, this covers up a lot of photo, what they've done, so move it slightly. And it's just a little bit below the heart, just so it's not so much there. I know we have to still cover a lot of it with the castle, but I just feel like, you know, that's really covering a lot of photo. I suppose I'm still about the same amount there. All right, let's do the arrows before we do that big castle. So one of the arrows is a curvy one. Where am I seeing that? Right here. And that's gonna kind of come across the photo, but I'm gonna put it just slightly below so that I don't have to use the anti-static pouch on it. And then a black arrow from this sheet. These will all be curvy, I believe, until we get down to the other ones. So another curve, oh, I guess it's just one more curved one. So it's this one, like that. And again, I'm just gonna put it just below the photo. And that, you're gonna have to glue. Sort of like that. Let me get my eraser. Okay, now we'll go to the straight ones. And that is all black ones. Oh, I see we've got a star to do too. So, okay, it looks like this one here with 3 feathers. And what else we have? Must be with this one. And let me see if some of them have fallen out because I'm not seeing all of them. There's one. Is that one of them? Nope. Oh, this is the big one though. So the largest of these, I think, is the one that we're gonna use. It looks like it's a big one that they've got there. And then a small one of these. And let me, where are the rest? Okay, here's one. So that's the really small one. And then one more. There it is. All right, good. Okay, so let's start with the smallest of the 3 feathered ones. Okay, so any moviegoers out there, because I am going to see Ant-Man maybe today. My husband went without me while he was visiting his family, not kind of the medium one next, out in California. So, and I'll let that go just over the photo, even though I have a little glue on there. And so we always go see Marvel movies together. So now I gotta go see it by myself. So I might see it tonight or tomorrow. I've only been to a local theater here in Indiana or Illinois just once so far. And it was cute. It's a cute little theater. There's something wrong about it, but I can't remember what it was. I feel like the seats, I didn't like the seats or something. All right, so over here we need one of those kind of sparkly things. Where is it? Right here. So has anybody seen Ant-Man? He said it was pretty good. The one I'm really looking forward to is Guardians of the Galaxy. Got a few more months for that. And let's do the 2 little sparkles down here. One is a little bit larger and then kind of a medium. There's so many of them. Don't worry about it if you don't get the perfect size. And those just kind of go under the scroll. And now we can put that big castle on. Awesome. You know what I didn't do on the first one, on the first page, that I will pull those pages up. So this really is the first layout, but on the first page of this layout, I haven't done the shimmer brush. I wanted to do a little shimmer brushing. Okay, I'm gonna pop it. Yep. So let's do pop dots on that. So don't let me forget to tell you to do shimmer brush. And then did I do any liquid glass on this? Because I know I asked you to buy liquid glass, but I didn't do it on every page. Right. Yep, nothing on this page. I think I did it on some other pages though. But you can always, what would be cool on this page, if you want to do that liquid glass, you could do the windows in the castle would be awesome. That would really look cool. And, maybe like the little decorations on the crown on the boys page. Not sure the girls one would look that great. You could do the clouds on the rainbow. All of those would look good with liquid glass. So all of this can go straight down because it's not covering anything, like a photo. And then we'll just go back and do our shimmer brush. And my shimmer brush is getting down to the last little bit. I have had that one forever. But let's see if it is still gonna give me a little bit. Luckily, this weekend I happened to, or this week I have my, all of my stuff from my store that I take to my retreats, so I could go down and get a brand new one. All right, get your shimmer brush out. I'm gonna put, because this is getting low, I'm gonna put a little bit on plastic, just so I can dab it in if it's not flowing nicely. And let's go through and like, all of these little black things are gonna look good with shimmer, I think. So I'm gonna do at least some of them and add a little shimmer to them. Yeah, you can tell my brush is getting older. It's hard, it's not coming to a point like it normally does. I have probably had this one for years. They do last a long time. All right, I'm gonna just do all of these little black arrows. Just paint them like a paintbrush. Very easy. Remember how messy glitter used to be? We used to sell glitter and it was a mess. Oh my gosh, it was the finest glitter too. So it really got over everything. You always were wearing it. Have you guys seen those glitter vacuums? Those are pretty cool. I have one, yet have yet to use it. And then over here, I'm gonna just kind of brush the tops of the castle, spires, maybe? Is that what you call them? And the doors. But you could go and do those windows with liquid glass, which I did not. I don't think I did. No, but those could totally be liquid glass. But you would need like a newer liquid glass that really still has a thin spout on it. Let's put that aside and we'll grab the other one. And I don't think I'm gonna do the big heart, but I'm gonna do these little ones. Just because I think it looks good like it is on that one, and I think that might be a little overkill. And I don't think I'm gonna do the crown because it's half of it's under the other crown, so it'll be kind of hard to get to. But all these other things that I actually overglued, we can cover a lot of mistakes with some shimmer brush. And it's fast. But remember, it does take you know, let's give it a good 15 minutes to dry. So don't set it on top of each other. And I'm not going to do the dragon, but I'll do this heart and this heart. Okay. So those 2 pages are done. This is the girls' version. And here's one. And doesn't that sparkle make a difference? I just think that little bit of silver glitter paper in there really brings out the fairy tale in this, right? Oops, what did I do? Look at this, you guys. You see my mistake? Okay, so if you made that mistake too, not too hard to fix. You could pull this off, just trim a little bit there and pull that off. Don't have to put the other thing over there. And this one, you know, that would be a little bit harder, but gosh, I totally didn't realize that. But kind of unique, so we're okay with it. We're gonna go with it. And hopefully you did it better. All right, I'm gonna set those aside and we'll move on to the next layout.